Surprise, motherfucker! The king is back!
You already know what's going on. We're back with another episode. We had to get that YMCA out of us. You know, there was no way I can continue without listening to the full song at least once. I wanted to listen to it about 2 or 3 times. Jude wasn't really about that life. But here we are, Outside the Octagon, episode 10 over on YouTube, episode 9, Spotify, and everywhere else you listen to. Very excited to bring this episode to you guys. Had a pretty interesting fight night card last night at the time of us recording this on Sunday. This will be out to you guys on Friday morning. I'm the host of this thing, Charleston Payne. To my left, we got the honorable co-host, Jude Starnes. Isn't it crazy how I keep coming up with these, would that be an adjective or an adverb? No, it'd be an adjective.
No comment.
I don't know, honestly. Whatever it is, I've been coming up with some crazy ones, dude. Whenever I'm doing the little intro here. Before we get any farther, though, because we forgot to do this last time, I think, unless I just didn't do it in the editing part. Our Instagram is at Outside the Octagon Pod _. We're going to put it right here in between Max Holloway. We also just got a new thing in from Miranda Maverick, which is going to be our signed poster up there to the Outside the Octagon podcast, which, if you're here listening, you know who that is. And shout out to Miranda Maverick also for giving us our first sponsorship here. We got Prowler Pickles. Visit prowlerpickles.com and you can get any flavor. It's 11 total flavors. Got some great ones out there. I was actually able to try that spicy barbecue the other day because that's one of the ones my dad ordered. Absolutely incredible. It's something that personally I would never think would be a great pickle. But, dude, you throw that thing on a hamburger, I promise you'd love it.
No, I'm not a big pickle guy myself, but Prowler Pickles, the only pickles I will eat. They're pretty good. We have some garlic dill coming in. Should be in here in the next few days, and I'm pretty excited to try those. But so far, every flavor I've tried has been really good. And at some point, we're going to have a little video for you guys reviewing the pickles.
Right, absolutely. We're going to try to get all 11 flavors. I believe it's 11. We're going to try to get all 11 of those, have them out there for you, line them all up, and kind of rank which ones we think are our favorites as we go. With that being said, though, right above Max Holloway again, we're going to have that link, www.prowlerpickles.com. You're going to use the code OTO10, all caps, at checkout, and you'll get 10% off of your order at prowlerpickles.com.
And maybe we'll have to throw that in the description as well.
Absolutely. It was in the description of the last video. It'll be in the description here. Yes, if you just scroll down to the bottom, it'll be right there. Click that link. Go order your pickles. Got pickles, shirts, pickled juice. You know, if you're an athlete, pickled juice helps with cramps incredibly. A lot of great things to go check out over there at Prowler Pickles. You know, a lot of great things. Jude, what did you think about them?
I love Prowler. And they have some nice shirts, some just deal with it shirts, some little funny shirts, and so some Jesus shirts and everything else, because, you know, this podcast is only possible through Jesus.
Amen.
So, yeah, Amen. There we go.
And with that being said, let's talk about some fights. I mean, had some pretty good ones last night. A lot of knockouts, a lot of finishes.
Yeah, a lot of KOs.
A lot of KOs. Dominic Reyes is one that I really want to talk about real quick. Dominic Reyes, after a 4-fight losing streak, you know, probably the closest person to ever come to beating John Jones.
Some would argue he did beat John Jones.
Some argue that he did. I'm one of those people that almost would consider it a win for him. Unfortunately, that's not what the scorecards had it. But Dominic Reyes had a very impressive performance. Got the job done within the first round. You know, both of those guys, kind of crazy to think about, both of those guys had college football experience.
Yeah, that was crazy. Absolutely very crazy.
Jacoby was a Division II quarterback. And I want to say Dominic Reyes was a linebacker, if I'm not mistaken.
I was honestly, I was unaware of that. I did not know that. Honestly.
Right. Yeah, I mean, super cool though, bro. Like, and speaking of college football, we got I know this is not like an all sports podcast, but we do have the NCAA football game coming out soon.
Yeah, and I'm so hyped for that.
That's something that we could easily talk about for hours on end if we were to get on that subject.
But I mean, even though it's not about all sports, anybody that's played sports or watched sports, you know, I wasn't like big into MMA or boxing coming up, and you know, I got into it and found it interesting. There's a lot of strategy. You see a lot of guys like that, you know, that play football and then they get into this. Ryan Clark, I mean, he's DCRC is now an MMA show. So it's for everybody. MMA is a good sport for everybody to watch, regardless of what sport you like to watch. I believe that anybody could get into it and understand it.
Yeah, I mean, It's a great sport. It's fun. It's entertaining. MMA and boxing are kind of like different worlds of each other, and they're kind of worlds apart. The reason I like MMA more than boxing is because it's all in the name. It's a mixed martial art. There's a mix. I mean, you get boxing involved in it. You get kickboxing. You get Muay Thai. You get jiu-jitsu. You get wrestling. Like, there's so much that goes into this sport, and that's why I love to talk about it. That's why I love to watch it, and that's why it's so interesting.
So, you know, actually, and maybe it's a little off topic, but, you know, this kind of laid back episode today, and I just wanted to talk about this. You know where they came up with the name mixed martial arts? Did you
Wasn't
hear about
it Big John?
Big John McCarthy came up with it
because he was working with LAPD, and there was like a big crime thing going on. I was thinking about bringing that up, but I didn't want to be wrong about it. No, I saw it through the Rogan podcast.
He was working for LAPD at the time, but I don't remember. I thought he had applied to be a referee.
He was applying to be a ref.
They asked him
what it was.
Yeah,
and he said martial arts, and they said what kind. He said, well, mixed martial arts.
Yeah, so that's a cool little story. But yeah, regardless of what sports you played, you can tune into MMA. It's fun for everybody to watch, regardless of age. It's good to watch. It's a good sport. It's always entertaining, and there's not a better place to listen in for your takes than on the Outside the Octagon podcast. So make sure you tune in here every Friday.
We got the best takes in the sport. We got the best podcast in the sport, I believe.
And the best interviews for sure.
The best interviews in the sport. You know, we're working our way up. We're trying to get more guests to come on. We got a couple names we've been working with. You know, I don't really want to put any names out there yet. Don't want to start, you know, getting to that point until we actually have it locked in and secured a date for it. But got a couple of interesting people that I'm very excited to bring on and have them talk to us and talk to you guys, you know, so that way you can hear this. And a lot of incredible things coming up for the Outside the Octagon podcast. You know, we're already on a faster track pace than what I thought. You know, we got the Prowler Pickles thing going for us. Got our first sponsorship with an MMA fighter, which is something that I had happening way farther down the line that happened now. You know, very excited about that. Super excited about the direction this podcast is going in. And the only way to keep it going in that direction is if you guys keep tuning in and keep listening, keep liking our videos, drop comments whenever you think we're wrong, drop comments when you think we're right. 99% of the time we are right because that's just what we do around here. So there's not really much to talk about in that comment section. I understand that just because Outside the Octagon guys, I mean, like we said at the very beginning of this thing, we're experts in the field.
Yeah, and one thing I always try to mention every episode, make sure that you drop a comment on the episodes. Anything that you want to hear. Anything to do with MMA or not to do with MMA, maybe we'll bring it up still. Just give us a comment of what you want to see, what type of videos, because vlogging and stuff like that could come depending on what you guys want. So just comment what you guys want, and we're content creators, and we'll give you guys what you want. I'm pretty confident in that.
We'll give the people what they need, most definitely.
For sure.
That's what we're here to do. That's why we have the setup that we have. That's why we've dumped so much money into this setup that we have. And that's why I'm so excited about the direction of it. That's all in all, I think it's going to pay off for us. And I think the only way it pays off is if you guys keep listening. So sorry about that little rant right there a little bit. I mean, we're just very grateful for the people that have gotten us to where we are today.
Yes, sir.
Next thing I want to talk about, I don't know if you watched the fight night from last night at Louisville at the KFC Yum Center. Obviously, you and I did. The Jared Cannonier fight, absolutely BS. Yeah. Way too early of a stoppage. I'm not saying that the fight wouldn't have got stopped maybe 4 or 5 punches later and he would have got dropped, but he didn't. He was still on his feet. He was still being defensive. He looked like he was about to throw a shot right there whenever Herzog called the fight, and I was very shocked because he's not typically a referee that misses on stoppages.
No, I was in disbelief there because it was like you said, I don't know. I think the fight was close to being finished, but Cannonier definitely wasn't out the fight yet. And, all it takes is one punch, and you land on somebody. And, it's not the worst stoppage I've ever seen, but it's pretty up there. Like, I thought it was a little premature, but, it is what it is. It sucks. But it happened, man.
I mean, if you look back on the fight directly before that, if you take that
Dominic Reyes.
Dominic Reyes. I don't know why I just had a mind fart right there, but if you take the Dominic Reyes fight right before that, I mean, Dominic Reyes got hit pretty hard right there, and he had his back against the fence. He was getting ran down for a minute, and I was like, okay, like Dominic Reyes might not make it out this fight. And then the ref kept it going. Boom. Reyes left hand. Reyes uppercut. Knee. Bang. Fight over.
I'm so glad to see Dominic Reyes, though, back in the win column.
Me too.
That
Dude,
fight.
I want to see that guy hold the belt.
Such a great
he's
fighter.
Still young,
He's still young enough
34.
that he can do it.
He's got at least 3 more years of very good fighting.
But 3 straight knockout losses after John Jones' loss that's where, if he would have just lost by decision all 3 times, that's one thing. But, you get knocked out 3 times in a row, you lose confidence, you lose everything that you had, and you start to get in your own head. So I'm glad to see him back in the win column. Hopefully he can get his swagger back. One
thing that he did say, I'm not sure exactly how I worded it, but I think he didn't say it. He didn't say he was back. He said he was better.
Yeah,
and
I like that.
That's incredible. Because he took a break for a while. He wasn't back. He was better.
I think he
undoubtedly.
I think he got his swagger back.
I think he got his swagger back.
We'll see. We'll see what lies ahead for him, and hopefully there's some good fights left in Dominic Reyes' career.
Ricky Tercios versus Raul Rosas Jr. last night. Great fight. Ricky is a very, very quick fighter. He likes to jump on you in the first round and not really slow down. Raul was almost, in a sense, the same way. So I knew going into that fight that it was going to be very interesting. I knew it was more than likely going to be a finished fight. Personally, my pick for that fight was the under on rounds, and that ended up going right for me, after the Raul rear naked choke. Absolutely incredible the way he had it on the chin, and I thought it could have been a tap there because, he was neck cranking it pretty hard.
Yeah.
A lot of people think when you go for a submission, and me and you talk about this every time we talk submissions, whenever that submission's not on the neck and it's on the chin, that's still a very painful spot to be in. If you can hold it there for 10, 15 seconds, 9 times out of 10, it could cause a tap.
And I've been in that position, and it's like it feels like your head's gonna explode, and all you can do is try to work the hands, fight the grip, and get it off. You're not gonna go to sleep, but it definitely is not a comfortable position that you want to sit in for a long time, and it eats at your gas tank just sitting there and wrestling on the ground. But when he ended up rolling, and I thought he was going to have a chance.
Over him, and whenever he rolled,
I thought he was going to have a chance to scramble. He just didn't keep his chin tucked as he rolled, and his neck came up, and Raul was able to capitalize off of it. But if he could have just got a little scramble going on the roll, I think that was good defense, and he could have got out of it. But Raul he's a great BJJ guy, and he knows what he's doing, and just got him in a worse spot. Thought he was going to. He tricked him into thinking that he was going to get into a better position, and really tricked him into letting him get that choke locked in, and it was over from there. So
right. One fight that if you even walked away from the TV for a split second like I did, you absolutely missed it. I had Zachary Reese picked personally again. I had him picked, thought he was going to do it. I turn around, go to my refrigerator to get some food out to heat it up. As soon as I open the refrigerator door, I hear, and it's all over.
Yeah, I missed it.
I didn't see the glove touch, and I didn't see the knockout. By the time I turned around, they're already doing pre-fight interviews, and all I had to do was, or post-fight interviews, and all I had to do was get my food out the fridge and throw it in the microwave. Completely missed it. That guy is incredible. He is going to be a great fighter. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with. He was the underdog in that fight, and he was 6-1 going into it.
Yeah, I believe you're right.
And
6-1.
He blew a lot of people's mind. I think he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. I think he's a great fighter. What do you think about him?
I think he's going to be great. That's a guy that I definitely have on my radar to talk to and have on here, hear a story. He's still an up-and-comer. He's somewhat young. I'm trying to check, make sure. Yeah, he was 6-1 coming out of that fight. There was only, I think 12 punches thrown in total that fight. Literally went 20 seconds, and he knocked him out. He's only 30 years old, and he's a Muay Thai guy, but he could be the future of the middleweight division for sure. The middleweight's kind of a stacked division right now, I would say. It's one of the better divisions at the moment.
Middleweight is stacked.
You got Sean Strickland, you got Paulo Costa, you got Dricius, you got Izzy still, you got Robert Whitaker, you got Chimaev. You got so many guys. Brendan Allen, I think I mentioned him. And then even your Bo Nickal. Bo Nickal, you got guys that's not even ranked in middleweight that it's like, dude, they could really win the belt at some point.
Right.
So middleweight.
They got guys that aren't ranked at middleweight that could probably win the belt right now.
I mean, I think Bo Nickal would definitely give somebody a shot with the belt, but I know a lot of people don't like the Bo Nickal hype, but that's just what I've seen. I'm not saying that he's championship ready, but he's definitely not far from it. That's for sure. He definitely needs to be ranked,
bro. And you just brought up a name that just I absolutely love, bro.
Tito.
Like, I don't like Tito at all. I just love to watch him form sentences, like especially the one where he's like, the guy can't even put a sentence together. He's just reaching. He's just reaching. He's just reaching for those grapes, and he keeps reaching for those grapes, and he's trying to make wine, but he's just reaching for those grapes.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard a single sentence with any education behind it.
Tito is the first fighter in history that was born with CTE.
He was the first fighter in history to negotiate his contract lower and call it a win.
Yeah, dude, that blows my mind for one. In itself, that blows my mind. But I mean, there's more. There's the one where it's like there's 7 days in a week, and 6 days a week I train 5 days a week, and 5 days a week I train 4 days a week, and then those 4 days I train 3 days a week.
Dude, he's an
like
I
what?
Can't. I lose brain cells watching Tito Ortiz. So if I ever say something stupid, which I'm sure I will, because that's just what I do, it's because of Tito Ortiz. Blame it on Tito.
Got me there. Shout out to Uncle Chael Sonnen though.
Yeah, Chael, a dog, and he's coming back to fight Anderson Silva.
Like, we need to talk about that for a second.
They said Terry Crews was going to be fighting Anderson Silva.
Dude, at first, and I sent that to you when it first got released. I was like, dude, Terry Crews is like, that's a dude in Fast and Furious, right? And you were like, yeah. And I was like, holy shit.
So, like, we can talk about the Chael Sonnen and Anderson Silva, but there's something I want to bring up after that. That's kind of, it's in the MMA world, but it's kind of off topic and it's crazy. I don't know if you've watched it, but we can go ahead and bring up Chael Sonnen.
So, dude, Chael Anderson, first of all, a boxing match. And first of all, Anderson Silva is a better boxer than Chael Sonnen, in my opinion, and MMA and in boxing, because he came from kickboxing, if I'm not mistaken. And Chael's a wrestling background.
Yeah.
Wrestling background is probably not going to perform very well in a straight-up boxing match.
Yeah,
a guy that's been retired from combat for the last 5 years is also probably not going to perform very well in a boxing match. I don't really think Chael Sonnen's going to win. Am I going to watch it? Hell yes.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't want to watch it? Who doesn't want to watch the press conferences? That's all that Chael Sonnen, that's all I need.
And it's in Brazil, which is a place where Chael Sonnen did not know they even had computers.
That's what I was going to say. I wanted to know where it was. Because Chael Sonnen's from the mean streets of Westland, Oregon. He watched people litter when he grew up.
Right in front of him.
He had twin neighbors, and they had to share a car. There's not many guys
and
that have
there
a better
was years
story.
where his dad. There was years in his life where his dad barely even made over $100,000.
There's not many much sadder stories, more inspirational guys than Chael Sonnen. Really, a guy I look up to for sure.
Absolutely. And if you haven't already, I mean, if you're an MMA fan and you don't know much about Chael Sonnen, just literally go on YouTube, look up Chael Sonnen best trash talking moments. You'll fall in love with the guy. Anderson Silva, you absolutely suck.
Yeah, I mean, he's awesome.
Dude's a dog, bro. Like, I love Chael Sonnen, dude. I tune into his YouTube channel all the time. I love watching his YouTube. He's got takes on everything. He drops a new video just about every day. Him and DC, they do the podcast. I don't listen to that because that's our competition, and I need to keep my mind clear and keep chasing the way to the top. But
sure.
I'm sure their podcast is all right,
Yeah, I don't listen to that podcast. I've never listened to it, but honestly, compared to ours, it can't be that good. But
it can't be. There's no way.
Something I wanted to bring up, though, what I was going to bring up, Eddie Hall, you know who that is, the world's strongest man. Did you see where he fought two midgets in the cage, and he's just slinging them around? So here's a question I have for you, that you saw that. If Eddie Hall was to face John Jones, who wins? Realistically. Theoretical matchup, who do you think wins? Eddie Hall, John Jones? Because Eddie Hall's got a lot of strength. But John Jones is going to have technique, and I think technique beats power every time. So I'm leaning John Jones, but
right. I mean, I think I got to go John Jones, and the only reason is I mean, we already seen what happened to Rebelis to Spain.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely zero wrestling skills, and I was like, I was absolutely riding the dude. No Diddy. I got it.
I was gonna hit it for us, man. But yeah,
we need to take a moment of silence for just a second. Like, look, let's just look. All right, we good. We can talk again.
All right, man.
All right, dude. I don't even know where I was going with that, but I was all on the. I can't say that either. Damn it, dude. What do I want to say where it don't sound bad? I was on the hype train for Revelis. I thought he was going to hold the belt one day, but after seeing him have, like, being like a 22 overall wrestler.
Yeah, the cat's out the bag.
Yeah, I mean, he's a one-trick pony, unfortunately. And the way he was swinging, bro, he was just throwing haymakers that never touched him. Like, that whole fight, he never touched.
I mean, that's kind of who he is, though. He comes out and he throws a lot. So if you can just make it out that first few seconds, his technique's not great. Hopefully, he'll improve and he still will hold the belt. I mean, there's always room to improve for sure. So we'll see what happens, though.
Right. I mean, only time will tell with that guy.
And well, we're just like this is kind of a laid back episode today. We'll have some fight. We'll analyze some fights in the future episodes. We always do, and then we do recaps and interviews. But today's kind of a laid back episode, so while we're on the topic, Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. You know, what's your take on the Jake Paul Mike Tyson? You know,
first of all, I think it's absolutely stupid. Like, I think there's no reason why Mike Tyson should be fighting again. And if he's gonna fight again, there's no reason why he should be fighting a freaking 30-year-old.
For sure.
Or maybe even younger. I'm not sure how old Jake Paul is. I don't pay attention to him. I don't keep up with him. There's no reason this fight should happen in the first place at all.
I don't see, like, what Jake Paul is trying to get out of it. Because if he wins, everybody's going to say, well, he just beat up an old guy. And if he loses, everybody's going to say, he just got beat up by an old guy. So there's nothing to win in this fight. And
if you lose this fight and you're Jake Paul, quit boxing.
And the post-fight interview, I mean, the pre-fight interviews and stuff has been just insane. Like, you know what Mike Tyson said. Jake Paul's talking about he wants to kiss him on the lips. And
Mike Tyson's like, I watched a video when you were 16, and I got an erection.
No, it's insane, dude. Like, I wish we could get a Mike Tyson voice effect on the soundboard.
Dude, that's not even no Diddy, bro. That's like no R. Kelly.
Yeah, that's
what Mike Tyson.
I think that's full R. Kelly, bro.
That is
full
like
Diddy.
all the way R. Kelly.
Yeah, that's just insane. Yeah, I don't condone R. Kelly or Diddy, and I don't think either one of them have great music, to be honest.
Diddy sucked.
Diddy definitely sucked. Diddy sucked literally and figuratively.
Diddy his music sucked. Bro, I seen a video the other day. Like, this has nothing to do with MMA, but I seen a video the other day, bro. It was this guy, and he was like, this dude was telling him, he's like, yo, like, he's telling him, like, the Diddy allegations and stuff and what all Diddy might get charged with. And the dude was like, it's like in a classroom. He's like, you talk about Diddy? You talk about Puff Daddy? Not Sean Diddy Combs? He's like, dude, he's like legit like crying, bro. He's like, not Puff Daddy.
Bro, it's insane, but.
It's a shame that people like Diddy still, though, bro. Like what Diddy did, well, can't say that either. But
back to the
MMA.
Back to the schedule.
MMA.
Back to the scheduled program. Then you got
and Michael Venom Page is gonna beat the shit out of Ian Machado Gary.
Ian Machado and the CUCK Gary is gonna destroy Michael Venom Page in that fight. Jamal Hill's going to win. Joe Pyfer's going to win. We'll break it down as we get closer. Cub Swanson's going to get his first win in 27 years. He's going to win the title. I'll break it down better as we get closer to 303 and our 303 preview episode that will be coming soon, I'm sure.
A lot of good fight cards this month. June is fight month.
June
is men's mental health month. June is a great month for fight fans. And it is men's mental health month as well.
And who do you have on the I just want to touch down on this. Who do you have on the Robert Whitaker Hamzat Chimaev fight?
Hamzat by submission.
And that's a free fight. Do not miss that.
Yeah, there's
June
no
22nd.
reason to not watch it. Like, even if you're watching the podcast and you don't know much about MMA, there's a good starting point for you. Got a great main card.
Johnny Walker's on the fight card. He's always fun to watch. Who doesn't like watching Johnny Walker? I mean, everybody's a Johnny Walker fan, in my opinion.
Right.
And you got the one-eye Sharamagomedov.
Yeah.
Is that how you say that?
Sharamagomedov.
12-0. He's got one eye. He can't even fight in half the countries because they won't allow it because they discriminate against his one blue eye, which is messed up. I really like him. It's awesome that he could battle adversity, still win a lot of fights. But on the Robert Whitaker Hamzat Chimaev fight, I think I lean towards Hamzat, but I don't think it's crazy to say Robert Whitaker wins. But it's tough. Chimaev's never lost a fight yet, and it's tough to say that he's going to lose a fight anytime soon. I'm not a Chimaev fan at all, but Whitaker does have that good 1-2 jab, and he's very similar to Sean Strickland, in my opinion. That's a fight I'd like to see if Sean Strickland can regain the title when he gets his rematch. I'd like to see him fight Robert Whitaker.
The only way that'll happen is if Whitaker beats Hamzat, though.
Yeah, I don't know that Whitaker's got that much gas left in the tank. I mean, he's 33, so I mean, he should still have a little bit of time. I mean, it's not like he sucks. He lost to Izzy, and then he lost to Duplessis by knockout.
But when you fight Izzy, like, look at Paulo Costa, for example. When you fight Izzy and lose, it changes you for good. Nobody loses to Izzy and comes back from it better.
Not necessarily. It doesn't end your career just because you lose to Izzy. Alex Pereira lost to Izzy and he came back better. What do you mean?
Yeah, well,
what do you mean?
Pereira's a freak. Pereira also beat Izzy like 20 freaking times before.
Jared Cannonier lost to Izzy. He's still fine. Marvin Vittori lost to Izzy. He's still fine. You know, there's been a lot of guys that's lost to Izzy and came back. I don't necessarily agree with that statement. You know.
Right. Maybe that's two bad takes from me in the last two episodes. Maybe I've got two bad takes.
What was your other bad take? I haven't heard that many.
The one I showed you before this episode, where I said Islam Makhachev's only challenge is Bilal Muhammad.
Oh.
And I stand on that.
I mean, maybe it won't be. Maybe it won't be. Crazier things have been said. I don't think Robert Whitaker's over.
Nobody had Matt Serra to beat George St. Pierre.
I mean, yeah, crazier things have happened, but
nobody had Strickland to beat Izzy. That's for damn sure. Me and you kind of
cheering.
We were cheering.
It was more like was like a Dustin Poirier, like our Dustin Poirier fight though. It's just because we were so biased, we had to pick him. We didn't really think that, but we wanted to pick him so bad, so we just saw it that way. But it worked.
Strickland picked Izzy apart.
No, he killed him.
He cooked that fight.
Yeah, but I think that June 22nd free fight card is a great card all the way up and down. There's a lot of great fighters on that card. So
it's something that if you're listening, and I'm pointing with my keyboard right now, it's something that you should not miss.
It's free.
There's no reason to miss it. I mean, there's great fights on there across the board. I mean, there's not a fight on that card that I think I would be content with missing out on.
And we talked about getting into MMA if you've never watched it. What a great card to start on.
And it's middle of the day on a Saturday.
Yeah, what else do you have to do? There's no football on. Baseball's coming to an end. You're at that point where you really have nothing to do, nothing to watch. Most of you that's watching probably go to college and are out on summer break. So you might as well tune in, watch a UFC fight. Even if you do go to college, it's a Saturday. So even if you work, it's a Saturday. What else do you have to do, you know?
Right.
There's no excuse. Watch the fight, man.
Yeah, I would not recommend missing out on that one. It's going to be great. But I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode. Do you have anything else you wanted to say?
Not what I had to say. You know what else you can't miss out on? It's Prowler pickles. The best pickles on the market. Your taste buds are missing out, so make sure you go order these. Use code OTO10. Link will be in the description. So, thanks for watching as always. Like I always like to say, we appreciate all the fans. Like I said, leave some comments in the comment sections of anything. Be on the lookout for some giveaways. Give the Instagram a follow. Give this video a like. Stuff like that. And
subscribe.
And if you like this video, we'll probably have something pop up somewhere soon. And you need to watch another video and another video and another video. Because I promise you, this is the best YouTube channel on YouTube. And we're going to give back to the fans like crazy. when we get to where we need to be.
Right. I mean, this is the only way from here is up, baby. That's what we talked about the whole time, starting this thing all the way to where we are now. We got our first sponsorship going. We got a lot of good things going for us. The only way is up. Thank you so much for listening. I think that's going to do it for this 10th episode of the Outside the Octagon podcast. Follow us on Instagram at Outside the Octagon Pod. It'll pop up right about here.